Hello. All right. I know I started a few seconds early, but so again, this is another sort of impromptu stream. I didn't really prepare anything. I don't have an agenda or whatever, but the only thing I want to do is try and get a GUI working on my GB header extractor. Plus, I also want to finally implement all the arena allocators in there and actually use them in the code, which I haven't done yet. At the moment, the code as it is actually doesn't compile. There's a few things that just don't work at the moment because I decided to restructure a few things, right? Again, I'm just sort of in this mode where I'm not being really productive and just dabble around and like refactor lots of things, and I'm kind of trying to get out of that trot by actually, working on the GUI at some point today. I have no idea how this all works and stuff like that, so there will be lots of looking at documentation today and all this kind of stuff, so bear with me. Right, but right now, I found this little tool which is quite interesting. This is from Data Oriented House, whatever that means, right? And there's this portable build tools. Someone on Twitter posted that, and I found that actually pretty cool because it downloads a standalone version of the compiler tools, of the Windows compiler tools, and it has like everything in there without sort of. It's basically just easy to use, right? So you don't have to go through the website and everything and try to figure out the right version and install a whole bunch of things. You simply select the MSVC version that you want. You select the SDK version that you want, the target architecture, and the host architecture. Now, that is pretty cool, right? But also, now I'm kind of stuck in this thing because I wanted to try and figure out whether there's already an update available for my Visual Studio version, for my C compiler that I have installed, right, for the build tools. But the thing is, it says MSVC version, and there's like this version number right here, but I can't figure out how to get my version number. Like if I have the CL compiler and actually look at the version, it's version 19, right? But this is version 14. So I'm like, well, which version do I have? Right? So I even went like here in Visual Studio, which I still have installed, right? There's a whole bunch of version numbers in there. Like it says 17.8 here, which is also not... Wait, is that actually the same as... No, see, 17.8 is for the developer tools, right? Well, the compiler is 19.38. But then, you look at like C stuff. Of course, the search doesn't work. Why do I even bother? Let's go down here, C++, right? There is the build tool. Okay, these are the ARM build tools. Let's go x68, right? x64, x86, sorry. And it says here, version v143. 143 latest. So is that 143? And this is 1438. This is 1439. Do I read it like that? 1430. Out of support. Oh, okay, so there's a few ones there. 1438. Which says 17.8. What does the 17.8 mean? Or is it just this? MSVC 1439. Okay, let's see if I can find this actually on the webpage somewhere to download, right? So this tool is quite nice, but like Microsoft version number stuff is just so incredibly frustrating. Let's put it this way, right? I don't want to be mean. I don't want to like go into a whole kind of rant and shouting at people for doing stupid things because we're trying to play nice here. Like, it might all have a perfectly good explanations why the version numbers are the way they are and why no one ever bothered to change them, right? So what do I know? I don't work for Microsoft. Okay, build tools for Visual Studio, right? So there we go. I think I already opened them at some point anyways. Build tools for Visual Studio. These build tools allow you to build Visual Studio projects from the command line interface, right? So that's basically it, right? But it just has download. No version number information, nothing. This is a loading screen for the installer. I downloaded an installer that downloads an installer. So my installer has a loading screen. Is it because I have this one open already? It was. Man. Current version 17.8.6. But here it says 17.8.5. But apparently we're in 17.9.2. Is this really all the information you're giving me? Okay, release notes. Can I go into the release notes? I'm actually looking for a very specific bug fix. This is all Visual Studio specific stuff. I don't care. Man. So what I'm looking for, there was one error that someone submitted where invalid AVX 512 instructions would be generated, even though you didn't specify that you want to use AVX 512, right? And Hang on, let me find the link on the different machine, because like this search is pretty useless. I hope I have it saved somewhere. Where can I search? There. So the title is invalid AVX 512 instruction when compiling for AVX2. It has the text fixed, right? So maybe... Man. Okay, this is by Adam. Doesn't help. I'm literally looking for the title, and it doesn't pop up as the first thing. This is ridiculous. Well, anyways, I've seen on the other machine that they actually haven't fixed it yet. So I mean, they have fixed it, but it has not been released yet. It is up for the next release. Which, you know, good stuff. What if I surround this with quotation marks? Oh, user. Okay, let's look for the username. Oh, good God. No. I'm sorry, Wiatkowski, but your name is a challenging thing to type for a dyslexic idiot like me. I'm sorry, I really am. Look, I'm even looking. Oh my God, okay. Right. I would just copy paste the URL, but it's pretty shit. So anyways, whatever. Probably still not fixed anyways. So latest known issue, so it just opens this website, which is freaking useless anyways. Right. Okay, so how do I find out the actual version that I have installed? MS Build, maybe? No, that's 17.8. Maybe I can see it in the MSVC stuff. 14.3.8. Okay, and we are in 14.3.9. Anyways, I don't think I want to upgrade right now anyways, because right now everything works, but that is good to know. It's kind of shit that I have to go into the folder to find the actual version number, right? That's kind of odd. Yeah. You know, it is what it is, I suppose. Those are some tools I didn't know about. That's quite cool. Okay, let me close some of that stuff right here. Anyways, I think this is a cool tool. It definitely makes a few things simpler, except like, of course, you still have to deal with Microsoft's idiotic version numbers, but nope, sorry, play nice. Okay. Well, that was a bit of an excursion right here. Okay, anyways, where was I? Right, GBHeaderExtractor. So I have this common now, and I wanted to add memory arenas, right? I had this Dani library kind of thing, but you know, I decided this is absolutely nonsense what I'm doing here. Why would I write a library? I'm not gonna share this code anywhere anyways, right? I'm still gonna call it DaniLib because like it's my kind of stuff right here, right? Like the no CRT stuff. But all this nonsense that I'm doing, that's only useful if I'm actually trying to share those libraries with, you know, if I put this public somewhere on GitHub or whatever, and for other people to actually use them. But right now, it's just my code. I'm just gonna modify the header directly, whatever, with whatever I want, right? So, anyways, so I was just writing this new memory arena stuff right here. Got this little get page size function right here, which is to get the current system page size. I'm probably only going to use it internally, I think. So this assert always is basically just an if, and if this if is not true, it's going to call debug break. You can see that here in common. So right here, assert always, right? This is a statement which is just do while, but if this is not true, essentially what you pass in, then I call trap, which is just debug break. This asserts always. Otherwise, if you use assert, it only asserts in debug mode, right? But in this instance, if something goes wrong, I want to always assert, even in release mode. But yeah. Oh dear, where am I? So, and I've got a few more helper functions right here, which is just something that I just want to use all the time, right? And these I just want to move somewhere else entirely. But I figured let's get started with Memory Arena. So I already had like a first attempt right here, which is, yeah, not that great, but I wanted to just kind of basically make it a bit nicer. What I didn't like here, what I did is the, where is it? So if I initialize arena, I have to pass in the arena structure, right? And then I'm gonna fill it out, do the virtual alloc then, and then put it back, which means this lives on the stack, right? But what I actually want to do is, if I'm already allocating, you know, space for the data here, why not just put the arena struct right in there and just return a pointer? I think that's actually nicer. So if the arena allocation actually fails, just return null. It's better than this integer, which I then pretend to be a boolean, right? So yes, I'm just going to change that a little bit. So again, we have the reserved size and the actual committed size. We are asserting always that, well, since a memory arena is now going to live in the space we're actually committing, I should say this, right? So if the size of the memory arena struct is smaller than what you're trying to commit, then that obviously is, hang on, assert always if that is not true, right? So actually, I think I might have done this wrong here. So committed needs to be bigger than the size of the memory arena. And also committed needs to be smaller or equal to whatever you're trying to reserve. Yeah, you basically want to have reserved always to be bigger or the same size as committed, right? but you also want a minimum of this space. But then we're kind of setting this on page boundaries anyways, right? It depends on the page size. So even if you say like, okay, I want to reserve, I don't know, for, let's say 3 kilobytes, right? But your page size is actually 4 kilobytes, then the actual number of things that gets reserved is, well, it's going to be 4 kilobytes. Same for committed. So this is why I have this get page size right here. And actually, I do not like calling a separate function for that, to be honest. I don't think I actually ever need this, right? Although I do not want to rewrite that specifically. Let's say this is static inline instead. And let's not make this available for anyone else in the project. Sublime is not bad, but it's very rare that people use Sublime. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I kind of liked it because of the multi-line editing. I like that feature. So, but I'm not really proficient with Sublime, to be honest. So I'm just kind of, yeah, whatever. I also have it not properly set up with like all the build stuff, so I'm not using the these things right now. Where was it? These project things here where you can, oh here, the tools, the build tools. For that I still have my trusty console here. Actually, let's go to projects, GBHeaderExtractor. Yeah. Lots of syntax errors. I mean, that makes sense. I have absolutely broken that project at the moment. Okay, so I'm getting the page size, right? And then I want to figure out how many, let's say, page count, right? So reserved divided by yeah, by page size. And then we can also do this. I guess. Didn't I do that already? Kind of. Oh, I'm also an idiot. Should use the right sign as well. Yeah, I kind of already did that down here anyways. I didn't want to copy this too much, to be honest, so... page count. Okay. So even if I now try to reserve less than the page count, it will reserve at least one page, right? I should say reserved page count. And then committed page count. Nope. Fine. I cannot write today. I kind of hate the name committed anyways. If your first language is not English, it's with double M. Fantastic. Okay, so getting the page size, have the reserved page count, and have the committed page count, right? And with that, I can then calculate how much I actually want to reserve and commit. So I can then say virtual alloc, which I've done already. Whoa. I wanted this shortcut. I'm really not warm yet. Where are we? Here we are. So we have virtual alloc, pass in null. That means we want to start at any address. We don't really care which address we're starting. And then we have the reserved size, right? And our reserved size would be reserved page count times page size. But if it is already aligned on a page size, then probably shouldn't worry too much, right? What's the dumbest way of doing this? So if this is not null, right, we're not aligned to a page size boundary. I'm not sure if there's some bit twiddling hacks you could do to actually align to a page size, but I guess really what I need is right. So we're reserving we're checking whatever the remainder is of the page size, right? And if this is not null, we have a size that's not aligned based on the page size. And if we actually want to align that, then what we want to do is just have reserved minus whatever the remainder is, but add the amount of a page size, right? And that is the actual reserved size. So now I can just say reserved, right? And this is a char pointer. No, I don't like using char pointers, right? I have my own things right here. So this would be U8. Right, let's call this base. Let's be friendly and cast. Can I make this? No, can't make this smaller. How do I commit? I just do commit, right? Okay, that's it. Fantastic. Let's do that then. Okay. So this is the base address of what I'm reserving. Now I want to commit, right? I need a specific size to commit. And what I want to commit is basically virtual alloc. I want to commit the base from the base address, right, that I've gotten back. And I want committed, right? And then I do main commit. And the page has read write. Okay, but before that, I also want to make sure that whatever I'm trying to commit is aligned based on page boundaries, right? So I can say remainder and then committed page size, right? And if remainder is not null, then not reserved. We have committed minus remainder plus page size. Okay. And then I basically get the base address will be the same, right? I could also check for null now, which I probably should do. I've done it here, right? Whoops. Well, there we are. So if base is null, well, then we just return null anyways. And then here, now I can actually cast the first part of the memory that I've committed to use for the memory arena. So I can say memory arena, right? And that is the header. And then I can fill out basically the structure. So arena, and what I want is, well, we have the reserved size, right, which is just reserved. And then we have the committed, which is committed right here. And I no longer need, so in the old version that I did, I also had the page size in here, which maybe I want to add that again. I'm not sure. I don't think I need to because reserved is aligned on page sizes, so whatever. I mean, maybe it doesn't hurt to still carry it around. I don't know. But this char base that I had before here, I no longer need that because, well, the base address is just, you know, whatever the address of the memory arena is, and after its size, right? So it would be arena plus size of memory arena, right? So that would be the actual, this is where the actual data starts. So yeah, I probably still want to have page size. Put this up there. And do I want to keep track of whatever I used? Yes, I do want to. Arena. Actually, let's make a macro for this, and let's say so if arena is null, then I also need to return null, right? Because to do I need to unreserve? I mean, no, I don't think I'm going to bother with that. Because if this returns null at any stage anyways, I'm probably going to kill the process anyways, which will free everything. So I'm probably not gonna worry about that. So, okay, and then return arena, right? And then delete memory arena. I mean, yeah, I can probably just copy this right here, whatever. This pointer will probably no longer be valid, but we have virtual free. And the, let's see, the base is whatever arena is pointing to, right? Okay. So now if I'm asking for memory, right, I want to be able to ask for memory. So how would I do that? Well, so previously I called this push and pop to treat this like a stack. So we're pushing stuff onto the arena and popping it back out. Yeah, maybe just leave it at that. So we have a memory arena, right? And we have U64, and we have a size that we want. And then we also have pop memory arena and U64 size, right? Okay, push. Let's just steal the code that I did before for this, right? Just so I have something to work with and just adjust to the new structures. So size should not be null. Okay, here what I can add is an assert for arena is not null. Right. So during this assert is only valid during the debug build. If I don't have a debug build, this will basically resolve to nothing. So and that's actually okay. Oh, I didn't add the U64 used thing. Okay, so used will already be the arena header size. Let's go in here for a second with pop memory, right? So we're trying to put memory back. So if right. So if we're actually trying to, okay, I should make an assert. Arena is not null, right? But if arena used is actually just the size of the header, then there's nothing we can actually give back. So we won't do anything right there. Then if size, let's say assert always size is size needs to be smaller or equal to arena used minus this, right? But that's not like a critical situation, really. So if so, okay, if arena used is the memory header size, just return. There's nothing we can give back. Otherwise, if arena used minus the memory arena header size is, if that is smaller or equal to the size we're trying to return, then we just set it to 0. 0 in this case is memory arena header size, because we need to account for the arena header. And if this is like way larger than whatever size is, then we can just say arena used minus equals size. So that was still valid code down here, and just needed to adjust for the thing really. You know what? Let's say assert always arena used is bigger than memory arena header size. Otherwise, what the hell are you trying to call this for, right? Okay, so this is pop memory. Well, we're putting memory back to the arena to be reused. And now we have push memory. So first of all, I want an assert that's only for debug, which is arena should not be null, right? So here I have this whole growth thing going on, right? So if arena used if whatever we have committed minus what we have already used is smaller than the requested size, then we kind of need to grow, right? Otherwise, we get U8 arena plus memory arena header size. So that is our base plus actually no, just need to say plus arena used. That is the base. And then arena used equals, well, plus equals size, and then return base. Okay, so what did I do here? New arena commit size. Okay, I'm aligning. I can probably reuse that code right here, right? So I have a size, and I want to see what the remainder on the page size is, right? And if the remainder is not 0, I basically need to calculate how many pages I need to grow, right? So let's see. So this is a protection right here if the size is bigger than the possibly maximum remaining space that is available, right? So let's say I have 8 kilobytes reserved. I have 4 kilobytes used, which means I only have 4 kilobytes 3 possibly available. And if that size now is 6 kilobytes, then I'm just going to flat out reject it. But then I need to check if I now need to grow, right? So I have the committed minus whatever is used, and we see if that size actually still fits in there. If it doesn't, I need to figure out how many pages to grow, right? So let's say U64. So commit size would be size that is fine. No, how do we do this? Commit size is size, right? Commit size modulo by the pages. We get the remainder. If the remainder is not null, then we need to adjust for that, right? So we'll say commit size is commit size minus the remainder plus the page size. So this is what we actually need to commit. Okay, so now if commit size I didn't mean to turn off the whole light. Just trying to adjust my lights a little bit. Hang on. How's that? That's better. I get awfully distracted today. All right. Now I need to figure out if I actually have enough space for this, right? And this would be arena reserved minus arena used right here. So I'm wondering... Let's do it this way. I just want to make sure that the size is not null, right? So arena should not be null and size should not be null. That is something that needs to be checked like during debug already, right? Because if I pass in null, then something horrible went wrong, right? And then I have the so let's not have a separate commit size. We just do size divided by page size, and we have the size minus the remainder plus the page size, right? Because this is what we actually need to do. And then we can check that this is actually still in the realm of, you know, valid things to allocate. So arena reserved minus whatever is used. And that is the final space that we have left. Right, okay, so that is fine. And then we have virtual alloc. I wonder if the base address should actually be something like, you know, let's say U8 arena plus arena used. Or actually arena committed. Yeah, it should be arena committed, right? Because we want to go to the end of the last page and then claim however many pages we need right here. And then arena committed. I think this is correct. I mean, I'll definitely need to test these things now. Okay, so this is the memory arena stuff. Fine. So let's get rid of the old header that I had right here. Right, delete file. Yes. And then let's see, what can I do? Build. Am I getting a visitor? Hello. Hello, you. Hello, you. Oh my gosh, hello. Oh my gosh. Hello. You're coming to visit me? Hi. Do you want to go to the bed? Go to your spot in the bed. Go. Why? Why, you want to chill with me a bit? Yeah, you want to? Alright. Fine. What? But I'm doing things right now. I'm streaming. Alright, okay. Where was I? Common.h, syntax error, identifier is string equal. Okay, let's check this out. So we have common.h and string is equal. Is it because of the boolean right here? Okay, so define win32 lean and mean. Include windows.h. right? I think I don't have that included anywhere. There we go. stb, sp, sn, printf, undefined. Right, which means I'm probably not including that somewhere. In options.h. What am I doing in options.h? Okay. I guess I should include it then. Include. This will be in stb. And stb sprintf.h. Right. And I probably also need to include that in here. And what I want to do is say define. And I need to define the implementation of it, which is right here, right? So, and I want to do the same for, well, I don't have that in the comment header for now, right? There is no implementation stuff going on there. So let's just build. Cannot find, oh, it's just stb. stb, there we go. Probably also in options. Okay, build. Oh, man. Okay, let's bring a bit more thing in here. Let's say this will be console.h, right? So memory arena actually just uses common.h. Common.h is just supposed to be all of this stuff right here. This is things that I do not specifically need, right? So this is going into console for now. So common is fairly straightforward, and that file is done. No need to handle that. Then we have no CRT .h, which is also fine, right? So let's do all the includes that I actually need for this project, right? So I want to include Windows, right? And I want to include stb, stbs, print f.h. Yeah. So, and let's say no CRT. So no CRT is basically just, well, my own definitions for memcopy and stuff like that. In the header, there's actually no important stuff in there right now because I have this extra C file. This is the only time I want to use an extra C file, mostly because of this pragma function right here. So I'm going to leave that like that. Okay, so common I set is done. So we have no CRT, then I'll probably want to include common.h, right, which I've already done down here. Fantastic, so let's get rid of that. And then right, so we have memory arena, which also includes common.h. That is fine. But I also want to have the memory arena implementations, right? So what I'm going to do here is say include memory arena.h and get the implementation as well. Okay, then I have this GB header, which I want to redo at some point, but this also pulls in common.h, which is fine. Though I'm not sure what it's doing it for. What am I doing with that? Don't think I'm doing anything with that. Oh, just for the U8? Probably just for the U8. Yeah, never mind. Okay, that is fine. That is the GB header, right? I want the stuff in there as well with the implementation. That's okay. And then we have options.h. Now, what is options.h? Options.h pulls in stb sprintf as well, but it's not doing the implementation stuff, which is fine, and it's also including common, which is fine. It's also using Windows stuff, though. Yeah, I really have to redo this options stuff a little bit. Okay, never mind. Let's focus on console.h for now. Console, right? And then like so. I had a string type. Okay. With a base and a length. That is fine. And here I probably want S32. Okay, so include common.h. And then we have all the... That doesn't really belong in console though, does it? Doesn't belong anywhere really. Yeah, this doesn't really belong in console. Let's just put this in options for now, because that's where I've used it, and I might actually redesign this a little bit. Okay, console. What does console have? Console has a few defines, which is fine. This is what I'm using, right? And then I had this print Windows error, so I'm probably going to do something like if defined danilib console implementation. Whoops. And put this in here. And then this is just the definition, right? And this also needs Windows, but only if we have the implementation, so windows.h. Okay, so that means here I can now say this one, this, define this, and include console.h. Okay, now options. Options.h really needs also a header guard, which apparently I haven't done, so let's do that. That is options. Really, this is not danilib, but whatever. This is actually just... whatever. Let's not bother with that. Options, options, and then all the way down here, we can say end if. Okay. This is fine. Do I need an str? So why did I even have this string type? What did I use that for? Just for input and output. Okay, I'm still using a lot of heap alloc here and stuff. Okay, let's go to the parsing. So let's make this S32, right? And we have read command line options, right? So we want a set of options, which for now, it's just gonna be this struct right here. Options, right? And actually, I also already want to use arenas for that, right? So let's do that. So include memory arena.h. And really what I want is options. And we want an arena. Sorry, a memory arena. Okay. Then we have an assert that arena is not null. Hey, Kakalak Joe, you didn't miss much. I initially wanted to do UI for my command line GBHeaderExtractor tool, but I got distracted and there were lots of build errors because of the arenas that I'm trying to implement at the moment, and I kind of screwed up the whole project. So now I'm just trying to fix everything, add the arenas, and then I can finally move on to the UI. But I have been, like I said, severely distracted at the moment. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Yeah, it really is a wall of errors. Actually, let's see. It's been a while since I built, so it's not that bad now. Okay, cannot open include file, no CRT, and you're saying that in main. That would make sense because I probably have not done no CRT. Here we're back to the wall of errors. Never mind. So, fantastic. Okay, this is what I don't get. It's saying that it already has a definition, but what? Oh. Yeah, I realized my error now. Ugh. So the problem is I'm specifying all these implementations, but then yeah, I see. So the order would kind of be important here, which is a bit annoying. So go something like this. And then this would also need to go down here, while this goes further up. That's kind of annoying. I hate this. I could add this in separate C files and then just include the C files. But then I just have a bunch of redundant C files there, but maybe that makes things a bit clearer, you know. How insane do I want to go with this? That's the question. I mean, this header only nonsense was kind of that was my own fault, wasn't it? Okay, hang on. So let's do C files. So let's have memory, right? And we have, can I not drag and drop files? No, that would be too easy. Fine. Let's call it arena.h, right? And let's copy all of this in here. Right. And then a new file, which is arena.c. Include arena.h. Include windows.h, and what we're gonna do, I mean, I probably, if I include the C file anyways, I probably don't need this. You know, I'm just trying to figure out right now how stupid I want to go with all the separation. So I do not like having multiple multiple compilation units, right? I want to have everything in main.c. Like I don't want to deal with, like, you know, basically multiple object file, which then needs to be linked together and all this kind of nonsense. The only time when I want that is with this no CRT kind of thing right here. But that is very, very generic anyways, right? Actually, I probably don't even need the header, to be honest. Like, all I need is this, right? No crt.c. I don't need that. Yes. So, and then in main, what I would just do is just include no crt.c, right? You can just include a C file, why not? It's just a file. Although, in this instance with no CRT, I don't really want to do that because, again, this should be a separate compilation unit. But I don't need an header or anything like that. So this is just its own thing. This is fine. So I don't need that. I need the Windows header because, again, it's a Windows program. I need common.h because that is where everything is located, basically, like all my type defs and all this kind of stuff. GBHeader.h. I mean, again, this implementation nonsense. It would be good to have implementations and stuff in separate files, but similar to here. Do I really need common? I don't really need that. I really don't need that, do I? Like, actually, okay. Include arena.h. Let's do it this way. But instead of including arena.h here, the only thing I'm going to do is just say include memory arena.c. Right? Whatever. So that will use the implementation. That is fine. And that's what I want. So I can get rid of this one. Then console stuff. You know what? That is where do I actually use those? Nope. What? This not this is find reference. Okay, I use it in main, and then a completely different project right here. So if I only use this in main anyways, might as well just put it in main, right? Why even have a separate header if it's just so my output is only in main and ever gonna be in main? Let's just chuck it in here. Same with this, right? Who cares? There we go. Actually, let's build our program from top to bottom, right? Okay, so I don't need console.h. That is great. And so options, option parsing. I sometimes really get decision fatigue, that's the problem. I should just, you know. So where am I ever going to use these options? That's the question, right? So far, I'm only using in main. There's no way I ever need options for anything else, right? I pass it around to like certain read things and stuff like that. But then options parsing, I mean, main is kind of long already, and options is kind of also fairly long, right? So you probably want to split this up a little bit. So let's just do that. So let's make a new file. Do we? No, let's just put all of this in the header. Fuck it, whatever. That's all okay. And we're just gonna include all the things we directly use, right? And I can now basically use memory arena like so, because the arena.h doesn't have the implementation, it's in the C file, and the C file we pull in separately into main. So this should fix the initial issue that I actually wanted to fix, right? So strt everywhere should now just be str. Okay. So here as well, right? That's just str. And then options, does this have this stupid if-def that I actually did at some point? No, it doesn't. Okay. So I can just include that. Doesn't matter where I include it, just needs to go somewhere. Console.h is no longer a thing. So this is the stb sprintf implementation. and that definitely needs to go in somewhere, and I will put this after. You know what? Let's put all the implementations like so, right? So let's say lib headers, lib includes, project includes, projects implementations, and lib implementations. Cool. Console stuff. Right. Let's chuck this away for now. And then whatever. Okay. Right. So let's see. And I was about to change this in options, right? So is string equal has now as an str, so this would be return 0, false is 0, true can be whatever. In our case, let's do 55, whatever, it doesn't matter. Actually, let's do S8. Right. Cool. Options, which has a string right here, and the string still has a base. Okay, I'm not going to touch that for now. This also S8, and this has an, okay, options T needs to be just options. You know what? I use underscore T. It kind of makes sense. So I don't mix it up with these names right here, but I can still have them short. I think that's nicer. So memory arena becomes, whoops. Oh man. Comes arena T. Okay. So, and this would become, I know I just changed str everywhere, which is not great, but, oh, come on, really? Oh, man. Okay. If you change your mind in the middle of it. So options, back to options T, right? Options. So this is set if unset, that is fine. Have the same here, but instead of true and false, I need to return, let's say 55 and 0, right? Actually, let's go to all the trues, right? And all the false will be zeros. Okay. So, and then here, this is what I wanted to change to use arenas, right? So read command line options now gets an arena. We assert that the arena is not null and we want to return the options, right? So what we first have to do is say, well, in the arena, let's say push oh my god, I can't type today, seriously. Push memory arena. I think I called it push memory arena. I can't remember, honestly. Push memory arena, yes. Cool. Push memory arena, and what we want is the arena that we pass in, right? And we want a specific size, and the size will be size of options t, right? So, and so whatever we're getting back is actually going to be the options t options. So this is similar to like malloc and stuff like that, except that the memory has already been committed, right? So it's just a matter of writing something into the address that already exists. We'll make sure in the main later on that we allocate enough space in advance for everything. So there we have input and output, stuff like that. So this is all great. This should all just work. Okay, we have a bool here, which should really be an S30, S8, I guess. It's just for the quoted, so let's just make S8. And then get next argument, all this kind of stuff. That should just be fine, right? Okay. Anyways, this is options.h. And options.h, we already include up there. Okay, so what's the issue with options.h? 150. Oh, right, I needed to return it. Yeah, that makes sense. I need to return the options, right? No longer. So return null. Shoot. Come on. Right, there we go. So this return null really becomes... I could have just left it as null, but I like to use the define right here to make things a bit clearer, and then we just return options here. Okay, cool. So build. This should be right error undefined, and then 143. Right, this needs a cast. And this is already something that I can see I should probably have a macro for, so let's do that. So let's say define push memory arena struct, and we can say the type. Right, and then what we can do is say push memory arena, and we want to cast to a type pointer of this one, so like so, and push memory arena. Well, we also need the arena. Apologies, arena. Actually, arena first. So that is the arena, and we want the size, and the size will be size of type. Right, there we go. So now I can use that, and instead of having the cast in there and the size of, all I need to say is arena options T. Right, cool. Builds. Syntax error. What did I forget? What? 143. Oh, did I have an error in the macro? Oh, yes. Yeah. Nope. Still? What? What have I done? Should I do it this way? Okay, hang on. So we have type, size of, arena, push memory arena. Right? So we have type, pointer of that type. Right? Then we have the function, and then we have this. So what's wrong? I'm blind, I don't see it. I don't see it. I am blind. What's the problem? So options T, options equals options T, the arena, size of options T, right? This is what it would resolve into. What? Right, so that is this. Which is all right. I can add another one of these, right? So push memory struct, arena, options T, right? Okay, so that works. Okay, so let's say arena is arena. Build. That works as well. Okay, so I want to cast into the type that is passed in, right? So build. It's the type. Whoops. Why is the type the problem? Interesting. Okay, whatever. I'm not allowed to have the braces there. Okay. Well, it works. That's all right. So push memory arena struct. So I don't have to have this casting and stuff. I just pass in the type, whatever. Options flag none. Okay, that is all right. So I use right error apparently in here, which comes from the console stuff. And now I remember why I wanted to have the console in a separate header, right? So cool. Okay, fine. Nope. Yes. Let's re-add console.h. Fine. Fine. And steal this. And have it console. And if cool. And include console.h. It also has the implementation in there, but that should be fine. Famous last words. Include console.h. I mean, we have the header safeguard, so that should be absolutely fine. Okay, cool. So that works. But now I have issues in arena.c. So what are you complaining about? 5.4. Remainder, yeah, indeed. That is a U64 that I need to. That is correct. Page size, undeclared identifier. Okay, why? Page size. Yeah, that would make sense because I'm actually not getting it from anywhere, but I can use arena page size, right? It's already stored. So that should be fine. Okay, cool. Okay. I see one options here, and it just says note, see declaration of options T. 42. So what's the problem? Options T, redefinition of basic types. What? 377. 377. What do you mean redefinition? Okay, well, there's a whole bunch of stuff to fix anyways. So let's start from top down and then... What? No, CRT also has errors. What? Dude, what am I doing? No CRT. Line 6. What's the problem? Because I'm... Nope. Nope, 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 nope. In 64, right? That's what I want. I didn't use the common header there for this file, so okay. Cool. Now we can fix main.c. Yay! Okay. And then we change it to use an arena allocator as well, right? So let's go and start with main. Right, so we have program start right here, and I'm already... Oh, so this was the old arena that I did before. So what I now want is arena t, call it just arena. And we want a new memory arena. And what do we want? We want 4 kilobytes committed. Do I have committed first or reserved first? I have reserved first. Okay. How much do I want to reserve? How about... Geez, I don't know. What do I want to reserve for a tool like this? 8 megs? It's a lot. Okay. Let's say 32 cubes, right? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. If arena is null, then there is something that has been going wrong, right? So we're printing a Windows error. And actually, let's do it in the same way as I had down here. So I'm just gonna say if arena is not null, go in here, right? And then we just call main with that memory arena. Not really needed because OS is taking care of that. Then why do I have that code in there? If I had it to do and just left it. Fantastic. Okay, so that's program start, and that is the main, which has an arena. Okay, and then options. So the options, read command line options, that now returns, let's see, returns the options like so. So really what we want, this is going to be a pointer to the options, and then we want to say this, and we're passing in the arena for the allocations that happen right there, right? And if options is null, then we just say return 1. And this is now gonna be a pointer. Actually, everywhere where I do options dot, which is in a lot of places, I need to do options pointer. Okay. Can't even type build. Fantastic. Cool. So what are you complaining up here? Line 30. Missing thingy because, right, yeah, that is correct. Because I renamed it and renamed it again, because I like to make my life hard. So this is gonna be all of this, right? Okay, Dani path. Okay, so this is the path library that I wrote, which annoys me as well. Everything annoys me about this code. This is so annoying. Okay. Let's get this done real quick, right? So let's do a new file, and this is gonna be path.h, right? It's just used in the main.c, so I'm just gonna leaving it as an h file and just put the implementations there. Doesn't matter. Let's just do path.h, right? Because this is for like getting all the current directories and all this kind of nonsense right here. So path.h. So we have this Dani path stuff here. Right. How about I'm just gonna go through all the functions that use it and then just copy the stuff that I'm actually needing, right? So path.h. Cool. So what do I need? We have get current process directory. Well, that should go into the path, right? There we go. What does that return? That returns a string with results. So this screams arena to me. So include, we have memory, right? And then arena.h right here. And what we want is an arena. And right, we do not really return the result like so. What we're actually returning is strt and a pointer to that string, because we'll just chug it into the arena, right? So get current directory gives me the length, right? So use 64 length. So this will give me the length of the string. And okay, we print a Windows error, whatever. Actually, not whatever. Okay, console.h comes before that. Good. And we do return null. Okay, so instead of the heap alloc, I now just want to get the length of the arena, right? So what I'm going to do is first I want the string of the arena. So we're pushing it onto the arena. Push memory arena struct, right? That's the macro. We have the arena, and we want an strt. So strt, that is the result. If result is null, return null. Can have an assert in there, that's probably quite good. Arena should not be null, right? And Okay, in this instance, then I can say result length equals length minus 1. Because that length will return with the null character, while the string should not have the null character included, right? Okay, then we have the heap alloc right here for the result base. So really what that means is result base will be set to push memory arena, because we want a new chunk of bytes, and that will be just the length. So that is the length of the string, and we want the string to point to that arena. So if result base is null, then, well, right. Now I want a new macro. So we have pop memory arena as well, and it would be nice if we have a pop arena struct, right? So pop memory arena struct. We want the arena, and then just the struct that we want to pop. So let's just say value, I guess. And that is gonna call pop memory arena with the arena and size of value. Now I'll use type as well, not the actual value, because then, like, if the value is a pointer or not, it's kind of shit to figure out. And yeah, I'll just leave it like this. Okay, what do we want to pop back? Well, if we cannot allocate the space for the actual string, then the string type is no longer needed as well. So might as well just, you know, pop that back, and then just say return null. Okay, so heap alloc no longer needed. Then we're getting the current directory, and we're getting that. Right, that confuses me that this is switched around, but okay. And then we have the result base, right? Okay. And if this fails, we want to print a Windows error, but then we also want to pop back stuff, right? So we want to pop back actually, what do we want to pop back? Well, we want to pop back the length of the string that we just reserved, and we also want to pop back size of strT, right? There we go. And this will return null. Okay, this is no longer needed, and then we just return result. Okay, so we push a string onto the arena. We then try to push the length onto the arena. If we cannot push the length, we need to pop the string back out, right? Otherwise, we try to copy the current directory into the memory that we just pushed, right? And if that actually fails, then we need to pop that back, and so the length, and then also the string value, so like so. Okay. And I hate this formatting though. Get current process directory. Okay. Now verify input path. Okay, sure. What does that actually do? It just verifies whatever I have here. Okay, so S32 then. And we have a string t input. And okay, this is fine. We get the full length of that thing. So false should be 0. And true is just whatever. Okay. Oh man, I'm changing the string on the fly like this. That is really nasty. Why did I do that? Oh god. So really what this is like expanding to the full path, right? So maybe I should have that as a separate function, right? So but I also don't really, man. Where do I call this? Nope. Did I not copy it? Jeez. Okay. Thank you for showing me the ASM file. That's very, very not helpful. Okay, seems I'm just calling it in main. Right here. Okay, so clearly what I want is more something like expand let's just call it get full path, right? let's separate those concerns a little bit. So that would be this, right? Let's say 64 instead. Let's just call it length. And if length is 0, then return null, right? I mean, I could just leave it as that. That is fine. But I also want an arena. Right. So get the full path name. This will be the length. And then I'm just simply pretty much doing the exact same thing as up here. So push memory and extract, we get the new result. Do the exact same thing here. Right. And then get full path name, length. What is full base? It's just gonna be result base, I believe. And then do this. Right. And then return result. Let's call this expand to full path. Why not? So, and what was verify input path doing? So once I have the full path, I'm basically checking the file attributes, so whether this file exists or not, and by file I mean directory in this instance. And then down here I'm checking if it is actually a directory or not, right? So really what I want to know is directory valid, right? And that is input base. Cast this into a char pointer. Oops. Right, and then I have this ugly heap alloc right here just to get an error message, which is a little bit insane. Let's just use an arena, right? So error buffer, push memory arena, and what we want to push is okay, well basically just replacing heap alloc with the arena, which is fine. and then I just still do that. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's not get too distracted by this. So is directory valid? So then here really, instead of verify input path, what I'm saying is strt expanded input. Is expand full path, I think. My brain today, honestly. Expand to full path. Okay. We have an arena, and we have an input string which will be options and input. And the options input, yeah, okay, fine. They've expanded input, return 1, right? And then we're gonna verify, so we're just gonna say is directory valid, and the valid is the expanded input. We have an arena. And if it is indeed valid, I'm just gonna say options input equals expanded input. Why not? Okay. Get default output. Isn't that exactly the same as get current process directory? Except what I'm doing at the end is attaching a right. Okay, fine. I can leave this sort of the same. Get default output. Forgot a few asserts here, didn't I? And input is not null. Whoops. Okay. Okay, I'm just allocating like a little bit more, like 11 characters more. So that is okay. So right, this is where the macro already falls apart. But to be fair, that is a very specific use case, I suppose. So okay, so push. No, hang on, this is all right. We want this here with the length, which is plus 11. Right? And then I have a little mem copy down here, which is fine. So here, plus 11, really. Okay, there we have the file name. We have the result base plus result length minus 1. We have the file name. Copy that in here. Result base. Yep. Do the 0 termination. Okay, fine. Okay, and then we have verify output path. Now what does that do? That also does the expansion. But it also checks for the last component. So here with the last component. Well, I can have this as an optional. Let's say U8 pointer last component. Right, and then just do last component like so. Okay, so this is basically a question of, is output file valid? S32. Oh my lord. And let's do another arena. And have the output here. Okay, so the expansion happens somewhere else, right? We have the get default output, basically. So that's what's going to be called first. And then this calls expand to full path. Hang on, I always allocated 11 characters more. Okay, I'm just going to do another copy. I'm not going to bother with the thing, with the thing that I made here, where I just allocate more than I need to. Dog is scratching itself. I have the default output here, where I already kind of do this for the default output. That is fine. But what I'm just going to do now is, let's just say, append path, right? Arena, and then we have that's very generic though. I don't need a generic like append function, right? I just want append output file name, right? Append default file name. And what I'm essentially going to have is I'm going to have an output path. And if that doesn't have the file name attached to it, I'm just going to attach it myself, right? So I'm essentially going to take this. Okay. So this is going to be the result. And okay, whether I have the last component or not determines the file name that I want to append. I don't really like that either. Do I even need this last component stuff? So I'm getting the full path name, right? This is expand to full path. I don't really need this at all. This can just be null, right? Sorry, let me make this full screen. I realized I was coding on one side and also probably was hidden behind my avatar picture. Sorry. Oh dear. So expand to full path, is directory valid? Okay, we have the get default output, and then I want to just attach the file name, right? So I want to have a new string, right? Cool, that is all fine and dandy. And then I want to figure out the length that I want to attach, so which kind of file name I have, right? And for that, I just check the last component, meaning, well, we have the output base and output length -1. Right, I'm just checking for the last slash, basically, to see whether I need to add it or not. And then yep. So the new length would then be the result length plus strlen file name plus plus 1 for the null termination character. And then I have a base push new memory arena, and what we want to push is length. If base is null, then put memory arena struct and return null, right? So, and then I just have to copy. So, I'm copy that destination is always first, right? So base, we want to have output base, and we're gonna copy output length. Not result length, output length. Ooh. And right, and then we have memcopy. Why are you growling at me? My dog is sitting next to me and growling at me, so let me finish this stuff, all right? Then I'll see what I can do for you. Base plus output length, right? So that is the new destination. And what we want to copy in there is file name, and the amount we want to copy is file name length, right? And then base output lengths plus file name length equals this one. And then we have result base equals base, and result length equals length minus 1. Okay. Now, where did I call this? So read command line options with the arena. We have get executable name, which I have not changed yet. If the output flag is set, we have expand to full path with the... Sorry, if the input flag is set, we have expand to full path of the input. We have the expanded path, and then we check if the directory is valid, right? Otherwise, I have this get current process directory here, which is now this one. Else, right? So here, get current process directory with the arena, and what we then want is options input to be this one. Actually, options input. Okay. So output file is done here. So we want to see if the output file is valid. So first we're gonna expand then. Expand to full path, right? Similar to what I've done here. Want to be let down. All right. 1 second, I have to let my dog out of the room. Let me... Didn't even set a timer. Oh well. Right. So where was I? Here. So I basically have to do the same thing, right? So I have the output. I want to expand it to a full path. Expanded output. Expanded output is null. Then we're just gonna return. And right, then I have the is output file valid kind of thing. Okay. And what is this doing? This is basically just, after expansion, checking if it is a directory. And if it is a directory, okay. So this get file attributes tries to get the attributes of the file, and if it doesn't exist, then we just assume it is a file name that we have to create. So I'm not gonna do anything special there. So we expand the output, and then we check if the output is a directory, right? Expanded output. And if it is a directory that actually exists, what we then want to do is append the default file name onto it, right? So expanded output, append file name, arena, expanded output. There we go. Okay, and if expanded output is null, return 1, because then we screwed something up. And either way, it's options output this one. So otherwise, options output equals get default output. Arena, can that fail? I think it can, right? Yes, of course it can. So really what we want is strt output like so. If output is null, what? Why is weird? Okay, whatever. I'm confused by the tabs here. Okay, and then options outputs. There we go. Fine. Okay, so that is the input path stuff. And that is the output path stuff. That is file name stuff. Okay, I have one more thing, right? The executable name. Get executable name. Okay, let's put this in path as well. So what we want is the arena, and we have, oh, it's just going to be max path, isn't it? Well, I just made it max path. Can I call get module file name with 00? So what I was looking at is because like the get current directory and stuff, if you pass in null for the size and null for the buffer, it returns you the length of the string that you're trying to get. But it seems get module file name does not do that. So that's probably why I allocated max path. Which is fair to assume, because on Windows, max path is 260 characters, right? And long path names, well, this won't return a long path name, really. Okay, so strt result, push memory arena struct, strt. Okay. Well, to be honest, what I can already do is say push memory arena, size of strt plus max path. Right. And then and then I can say result base is U8 result plus size of strt. Result length is max path -1. Name base, right? Max path, sure. So, hey Dani, I have a question regarding use of the Windows API. How do you navigate the Windows MSDN pages? I trouble navigating them. Okay. We recommend using this new API. So, okay. So I don't know really. I just Google stuff. But I'm not using that much of the Windows APIs at the moment, anyway. So most of the stuff that I use is in kernel 32 lib. For the UI stuff, I will probably have to go into the user 32 lib, but anything else, yeah, I don't know. I can't really give a good answer there, honestly. I haven't come across anything that's like deprecated at the moment or anything like that. There has been some stuff in the console APIs, I think. So write console A, right? I think there's some stuff in here that has been deprecated. Can't even remember off the top of my head. Yeah, so this, for example, sets console screen buffer size and stuff like that. But usually they tell you what you can use instead. So in this instance, the virtual terminal sequence is right here. So you can probably achieve the same thing with whatever they do there. That's the only legacy stuff I came across, to be honest. So yeah, sorry, don't have a really good answer. I guess like what would... All right. Okay, so sound and stuff. Okay. I have not done any real sound stuff yet, to be honest. So, but I can get your frustrations there. Yeah, seeing C# examples, and yeah, it's been a while since I looked into that stuff. And I have been using C# beforehand for this kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Xaudio 2 is good, but requires C++. Okay. Well, maybe someone else in the chat might be able to help you out there. Like I said, I've not used any sound APIs or anything like that, so I don't even know what to recommend there. I haven't looked into anything like that. Way back in the past, when I was actually trying to do video games, what I used was Fmod, but I'm not even sure if that is still a thing. Apparently it is. But that's more like a library, right? I don't even know what it's calling like underneath, to be honest. Good God, that web page is now terrible. Fmod core. Oh, one thing changed is the homepage. That seems to be terrible. Okay, whatever. When did I start programming in C? Well, that's kind of a very long story. So I was doing a bit of C and C++ like way back in my teens, but only like... Hello? Okay, I'll come down in a second. All right. Sorry, I probably have to go on the break soon, so... where was I? So yeah, I did like C and C++ in my teens, basically. Tried to learn a little bit here and there, but I didn't really write any significant software with it, right? So nothing really big. I tried like the odd game here and there, and actually simple stuff like a breakout clone or things like that. With DirectX, God, what was it? 7 or 8? No, there was no 7, was there? I think it was DirectX 8 or something. I don't know. And then went on to OpenGL a little bit. Back in the day, there was a great resource available for like OpenGL stuff, so I tried a little bit. Actually, maybe it's still available. Hey, the homepage is still there. Will you look at that? Legacy tutorials. Yeah, so I was doing stuff from this side, which was kind of interesting, and they were using C or C++. I can't remember, to be honest. Looks like plain C. Yeah. And later on, I then learned C#, because after school, I started like an internship in a company that was heavily using C#, and so I started to learn it a bit more, and then basically did C# for 15 years or something in the industry, and got really fed up with it, and was like, okay, I actually want to go back to like a simpler programming language, where I'm not getting too distracted with like all different libraries, classes, all this kind of nonsense. I just wanted to write code that's fun. And then I started to go back into C. And I actually only started to go back like in October last year, something like that. So I obviously have forgotten almost everything after doing only C# mostly in my career. And then, yeah. Actually, to get back into C, I had... yeah, there's not much to remember about C. That's it, yeah. I bought the K&R book, really, just to get back into the syntax and trying to remember a few things. And then, yeah, it came back very quickly. It's quite nice. The only thing I suppose you have to remember is like all the C runtime library stuff, right? But in this program specifically, I'm not using the C runtime at all. I'm compiling it without it. So I'm just doing my own thing, basically. And I enjoyed it a lot. Like, it's so nice to you just code what you need, right? It's really fun. But yeah, I realized I wanted to do UI today, and I haven't even touched UI libraries today. That's fantastic. I got so distracted with all of this and trying to make arenas work that I didn't achieve my goal for today, which is slightly annoying. But I guess I can do it tomorrow then. Okay, so I'm going to quickly do this get executable name and see if I can get it to compile, fingers crossed, right, without using the arenas further down when I do the parsing of the Game Boy ROM header files and stuff like that. And that's probably a good point to end on for today. And then tomorrow I'm just going to go through these, basically remove all the heap allocations, so all the the heap alloc calls that I do, and try just to push everything onto the arena. Okay, so get the model handle, get the module file name. Want to put that into result base, and then result length is... Okay, sure, I can set that again. That is fine. Print Windows error, sure, but then what I need to do here is say return null, and what I need to do is pop stuff from the memory arena. So arena, and what I need to pop off is size of strt plus max path. And then here I just return the result, right? Okay. Then here get executable name. What we do now is say, let's just call it exe, right? We just have the arena. And otherwise options executable exe. I might have to change the options to actually use pointers as well instead of like, you know, copying the whole struct. I mean, it's a very small struct, so I don't, yeah, maybe I shouldn't bother with it. Doesn't matter. Okay. Right, still lots of stuff broken. Well, that is cool. Okay, there's some stuff in path which I can definitely fix, right? So let's open path up, and there is 5.7. What's wrong here? Right, this only takes in the D word. Fine. Then 77. What do we have here? Missing, yep, there's a missing semicolon, all right. 132. Again, missing semicolon, fantastic. And 146. What's wrong there? Slightly different base, because why? Oh, because this is unsigned. Ugh, I hate this. Why did I do this? Ugh. I have to change that. I really have to. This casting is nonsense. Okay, 136. What's wrong there? Again. Right. That makes actual sense. Because it returns a void. Okay, that is everything in path fixed, but there's still a shit ton of errors in here. So why? Main C, line 70. Well, what's the problem there? Huh? Is it because of, oh, GB, yeah, okay, I forgot GB header, right? Okay, that makes actual sense. Are there any implementations? I forgot. They are implementations. Let's remove that nonsense. That was absolutely nonsense to do that. Right. And then just include GBHeader.h builds. Dani path max length. Yeah, that one doesn't exist anymore. So Dani path max length, right? Whoa. What? Nope. Where am I? In the header. There we go. Dani. Right. So all of this is just max path. Whoops. strt search path 224. It's just search path, isn't it? Oh, right. Okay, this is still with the heap allocations and stuff. But again, I'm not trying to... Dani path combine. Really? Really? Oh, really? Oh, no. Oh, fine, I'll just include it then. Oh, my lord. Okay, okay. Fine. I wanted to get rid of this file, but... it is what it is. For now. I get rid of you next time. Hey, thanks for the follow. Include Dani path H. What? What did I do wrong? Does that not exist? Oh, is it? No, that should be fine. That shouldn't matter. Have you ever written any programs that run natively on Android or a mobile OS? No. I tried a bit of iOS development with Swift, mostly because like I have an iPhone and I got a Mac and like, you know, thought like, hey, it would be cool to code some apps with it. And Swift seems to be like the go-to language for Apple devices now and things like that. But then I tried Swift and absolutely hated it. Well, not absolutely hated it, but I got slightly annoyed, let's put it this way, because I actually found an issue and they have not fixed it, which is super annoying. Do I still have the tab open? No, I don't. I don't do much GitHub, so this is like my throwaway account. So good God, where can I see stuff that I submitted? Oh my lord. No, no, that's Zig. Okay, fantastic. Issues. Ah. So I found like this issue with line ranges on substrings that like it appears like they have like some some issue right there when trying to parse while using substrings. And I submitted this with a lot of information that I could, and it's been now a year and still no one has looked into it or fixed it. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't care about Swift anymore. So yeah. that's my only excursion into the whole mobile OS stuff. I might try in future again to like go into mobile stuff, but yeah, I mean, most of my stuff that I done for like companies and things like that were mostly working on back-end server stuff. So I have not much experience with like the whole UI side of things or user-facing side of things. But I want to do some more of it with C on Windows. I actually would love to get to a point where I'm able to work on a game on Windows. That would be amazing. And then, we'll see where we get from there. Really, I also want to work on a game for the Game Boy right here. Because I've written a little assembler for it, and I really want to learn how to make games for the Game Boy as well, which is very niche, but whatever. So yeah, I guess that is the only mobile device I will ever consider coding in future. Okay, Dani path combine is... I don't know why I can't find that right now. I think my brain is starting to get a bit mush anyways. So... And I actually do need to stop because apparently food is ready, which is really nice. So let's see here. What is the problem here? Missing syntax. Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. Dot flags. Okay, 315. Oh, right, because it is a pointer now. You know what? Let's just change the macro then, shall we? Whatever. Except on 2 points, I can't use... Oh, bloody hell. It's like... Really? Why did I do that? Okay. Four or three. This already is a pointer. Okay, cool. 416, same with arenas. 416, right, it already is a pointer. Okay, one error left. In read ROM headers R, there I use Dani path combine, which is such a bad name. Okay, so why are you not able to find it? Great. I mean, it is right there. Why can't you find it? What am I doing wrong? I mean, clearly you can find this one. Okay. Copy paste time. I don't want to think too long about why this is not working. Let's just paste it all in here. Right, and say path and path. Okay, and here let's just say, no, let's leave the name exactly the same. And then path. Well, at least I have, okay, undeclared separate. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just copy and paste these as well. I don't know what I screwed up there with the header file, but Dani path mem copy. Mem copy. Huzzah! Cool. And release mode also works. Fantastic. Okay. And now if I build debug GBHeaderExtractor. Oh, that's a good start. That's a fantastic start. Come on. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly look into this and probably stop. If I can't figure this out quickly enough. So, okay, we have the executable name, process directory, well, this is wrong, isn't it? Get process directory. Get current process directory. Result base. I jumped over. Okay. There we go. So we have length 44. We have a result. I'm coming. Get current directory. Interesting. Okay, well, I need to stop here anyways. But for some reason, the result base doesn't seem to work. This is gonna annoy me the whole night. Okay, but I really have to grab some food now, so I'm gonna upload this onto the VOD channel, and then I'll probably continue tomorrow with this. Not sure I will be able to later tonight, so tomorrow it is. Actually, let's just do fix me. Right, so I know when I build, there's something going on. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.